billionaires. Are they evil? I'm talking to the liberal, because you don't think they are.
We out here in these streets.
All right, so we're back on this topic. Woo! We're talking about the homeless in America, and obviously there's a correlation between illegal immigration and homelessness. And I'm gonna say this: I know that there's different reasons for people being homeless. So I'm not really gonna talk about too much of the political side of homelessness, but I'm gonna speak to the heart about homelessness. As I go around California and doing the different things that I do here down in Los Angeles, I should say, and California, because even in San Francisco, when I go up there for certain conferences and stuff, like the homeless problem is horrible up there. Like it is like at night, it just wakes up. It's like, I'm like, Jesus, out there doing drugs in broad daylight. Like I'm just not broad daylight, but in the middle of the street. Like it's not even hidden. And I watch police to drive right by them while they're shooting up. And there's some laws in San Francisco that allows that, which is beyond my understanding why they do that. But I don't think it's helping the problem. They have these dispensaries all over around the streets where you can throw your needles away so that the needles are not put in regular trash, or they're put on or left on the street or something for somebody to hurt themselves with it. And I thought that was kind of interesting. I in a sense, there is a good part of that, but then there's a part of it that's like, but aren't you condoning the idea of drugs instead of cracking down on the drug dealers that are out there and not selling these drugs? But I don't know, put more resources towards rehab probably would be, or making the drugs not available. Like, why is that so hard? I know there's illegal. They can do so much. Like, I'm watching these oxymorons out here, how they can do certain things with immigration. Now, here's my thing. You can get illegals out of here. You can keep terrorists from bombing any more buildings, but yet you can't keep drugs out of here. You can catch all these top dogs and you can't keep drugs out of here. I think there's a conspiracy. I think somebody's allowing these drugs to flow to keep what we call I do believe in the school to prison idea. And I do believe that there is this big thing with filling the prisons up with criminals. But I just don't believe it's based on race. I just believe it's just one rich person want to be more rich. Like, that's just be honest. Like, there are some greedy rich people and we need to come down on us, but we don't need to say that everybody who is rich is evil, because that's not true. Other than that fact, and then the liberal hero was it Zuckerberg, the Facebook guy, then he must be evil then, you know, or Google must be evil. But these are the people who support those agendas, right? But they must be evil. They're billionaire. Or Bernie Sanders. Sanders is a billionaire. He must be evil, right? If all billionaires and millionaires are evils, then we talk about some of our politicians, Elizabeth Warren, Hillary Clinton, all these people are millionaires. Are they evil? I'm talking to the liberal, because you don't think they are. But yet we're saying it all. But anyways, I don't want to get off on a tangent. That's a whole nother thing. But in far as in the prison system, we do know that there is some people who make money off of prisons, and they got to fill their prisons. And I think that's unfortunate, because that type of making money off of that situation is actually hurting our country versus helping it. So I really would love to see something change in that area. But so San Francisco have all these people out here with these drugs, and same thing here down in Los Angeles. I'm just watching people do drugs on the street, and they're just homeless. And there was this crazy law that I was talking when I first got here, and I saw this video of somebody feeding this guy on the street, and I had found out that they had got arrested when they did it, because it's actually illegal to do that. I'm like, what? It's illegal to feed the homeless? Like, there's some laws on the books that it's illegal to do that. You have to get like certain type of permits and go to the state to feed these people. You have to go pay the state for you to go feed a homeless person. And one thing about California, they want money for everything. They want money if you doing photography on the street somewhere. And I'm just like, that's dumb. And this is why you see a lot of movies being filmed other places like Atlanta now, because now California's getting ridiculous. They taxing for every little thing. They're going to be taxing for you to breathe air real soon. So therefore we have a homeless crisis, and we have all these crises because there's laws that are designed to make money for the government. So now we can't actually help the problem because we got to go pay all this money to get a license to go feed a homeless person. Like, what normal person is going to go to the state to get a permit, pay for a permit to go feed a homeless person? That doesn't make sense. But yet you're protecting immigrants. You ain't got to get no license to do that. You like a big dog if you are protecting immigrants. You big dog, you can do that free of charge, but you can't help the homeless. You big dog if you help the immigrants, but you can't make affordable housing here. You big dog if you help the immigrants, but you can't find a system that's helping single fathers or single mothers live here in California. These are the type of policies. You want to see what the Democrats in Washington want to do? Look at California, look at New York City, and look at their homeless problem. Look at the drug problem. Look at the problems in that state. Look at Baltimore. Remember when they would talk about Cummings and everybody try to go to, I don't care. I don't like, and I'm gonna tell you this, guys, I'm not knocking. I know some of y'all like, well, Chris, you got conservative on your this and that and that. So, you know, I do love conservative values, and I did a video on what the values are and why, because it's not about the party for me. It's about what it stands for. The things that they stand for that I agree with. There's some things that I agree with on the Libertarian, and then the Liberal Party and the Green Party. There's some things I agree. There's some things that values that I encompass from them as well. But as an overall, if you look at all of the things, yes, a conservative values. I ain't gonna say policies. I said values. Kind of jive with my lifestyle more than anything. I want to differentiate the conservative party and policy with values. I believe in families. I believe in strong families. I believe in limited government. That's a libertarian thing. There's certain things that I believe in, you know, that makes a person successful in life when people are able to have policies that push them to be self-responsible. So, but going back, so you want to see what these democratic policies. You look at these cities that are ran by Democrats, these states that are ran by Democrats. We talk about Cummings, and I was talking about him because I said, and rest his soul, God rest his soul. And you know, I pray for their family. I pray for all our politicians who've lost people. You know, because I know how that feels. Like I did this story on it recently on the Kobe on the podcast where I was talking about the loss of Kobe, and I actually talked about dealing with the loss of my parents. I feel for the families. So, but as Cummings has been senator over that area for 30 years, and they've been having Democratic leadership, black Democratic leadership for years. And I'm going to say black because I know a lot of black people in here looking at me that I'm black, and they're like, wait, what? You hate your own, and they're going to call me all kind of Uncle Toms. But for me, you're an Uncle Tom if you call yourself a Democrat and you're black and you run in a city, and the city is probably one of the worst cities in the whole United States. If we're black and Democrat and we call ourselves for the people, we should have the most thriving city in the world. But it's hard when you call yourself Democrat because you have to do what the Democratic Party tells you to do. So that's why I advocate for don't be a part of these parties. Let the Republicans be Republicans. Let the Democrats being Democrats. Now, I'm not saying that if you like their policies, then you like the policies, then own those policies. If you like what the Democrats is doing, then own that. But just understand that your policies is creating these problems. Own it and fix it. If you like the Republican and you are a black Republican, be black Republican. Just own the mistakes of the party. That's why I'm kind of like, I don't really care. I go with who makes sense, because we have choices. It's not like we have multiple parties. We pretty much just got two parties. So I'm gonna go with the one that makes the most sense to me in that moment. You know, back in the day, it used to be the Democrats. Right now, the Republicans are making more sense to me right now, especially in this day and age and what's going on. So I kind of look towards some of the things that they're doing. So I just put that disclaimer out. But we have to look at how we're treating our homeless through these policies. Like, if we want to see what's really going on, then why is it so hard to combat some of these? Because we have too many laws. Too many laws. This is why I really agree with limited government. Why are we even creating a law about feeding homeless people? California just made a law about straws. Like, are you serious? Instead of telling people to be responsible for throwing a trash where the trash needs to go, we're gonna ban straws. So all the people who are being responsible for their trash has to suffer for the ones who are not. How is that fair? Now I gotta drink a paper straw that disintegrates in my cup and make my drink taste like cardboard. How is that fair? How, Sway, how? But anyways, I didn't do that good. I really like the way Dave Chappelle did that. But and then here's another thing I don't like, is that we're trying to defund places like the Christian associations, and this also gets into what liberals are doing and Democrats are doing. They're trying to really diminish the impact that Christian businesses and organizations have on our society. Do you know that one of the biggest reasons why sex trafficking is getting so much attention is because of Christian organizations, Christian missionaries who are all over the world, because they're not restricted by what they can help with in government. All over the world, in places like Honduras and Venezuela and Mexico, these people are risking their lives. Good people that y'all demonize, that the Democrats and the liberals demonize, good people, because they won't accept certain things like the what's going on in the alphabet community, or accept abortions and certain things that are against their religion. You mad at these people and you're demonizing these people, and these are the people who are combating some of our biggest problems, like homelessness, starvation, sex trafficking. These people are helping these people, giving money to organizations like I mentioned earlier with the guy, giving money to those organizations for them to go save kids. You demonize them. Like even my church that I play for, they go do missions in Mexico and in different places, and they're helping these people build infrastructure. And yes, it's through the church. They're building churches, helping them build orphanages, and helping them build all these. I got my friend, one of my best friend Keisha and her daughter, my goddaughter, they're about to go to Africa to help them over there, going to the orphanages, teaching them dance and helping in that. It's like, I know that some of y'all like, teaching them dance. No, I mean, it's obviously they're orphans, they're in these impoverished nations. It's more than that, because their involvement helps them get money to bring over there, to donate to them. They raise money to donate to these orphanages, and the services that they give is that they teach dance to these kids. So that's just their service while they're over there. But they're doing things to help bring money to this orphanage, to help these kids get educations, to help these kids grow and get food. And it, like, but these are Christian people, like, and we demonize them. But we say we have a homeless crisis. So there's two things. Either you're going to allow us to do it, or you want the government to do it. And you know, if the government does it, it ain't gonna be done right. Otherwise, it'd have been done right. Look at California. We have all these laws that prevent individuals from doing things, but they don't got laws that help them. We can't even make affordable housing, which is one of the leading causes of homelessness in California. I know this one dude who was in this van. It was like a Scooby-Doo van. It was really decked out. He let me see. He had a couch in there. He had TV. Like, it was, his van was like state of the art. He said, I can't really afford a house, but he literally works in the movie industry. He was some type of some type of producer. But he wasn't a top tier producer, but he was a producer. I think he did commercials or something. He made money, but he didn't really make enough money to sustain house. So he said, I got rid of it. And he bought that van because it was just him. Like, for him to say that, like, yo, it's not worth buying a house in California. And he lived in his van. And then another reason why, because he's always traveling. He's always producing somewhere. So he's always living in trailers and stuff anyway. But so I get it. But he said it's not worth having a house. It's not worth buying. He can't really afford it. Can't afford to maintain it. And I was like, that's interesting. So it's just interesting how we always have our politicians that campaign for these things, but we can't combat the homeless in America. But here's what you can do for homeless. And this is what I'm going to end this segment on, because this one is getting long. I get long-winded a lot lately. But we can, first of all, we need to change our laws. California, we need to change the laws. We should be able to do more. Individuals should be able to do more. Organizations should be free to do more. We should be getting funding for places to harbor homeless people and get these people. We need to do more to combat drugs that are keeping these people homeless, because they're spending their money on drugs, and that's what a lot of them are doing. And helping them. Like, it's not enough to give them food, but we need to teach them. It's just like the Bible says, you give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day, but you teach a man to fish, he will eat for a lifetime. And we're doing too much to give a man something and not teach a man how to do. And that starts with rehab, rehabilitation, relearning, re-education, and getting people into a point where they become viable in the society. We need to do more on that end versus, let me just give this person food. Now, I'm not saying don't give them food, because they probably are hungry. We want to get them to a point where but that can't be the end all be all. We need to be able to educate them and get them into a place where they can make the decision to get off drugs. They can make the decision to do better, but we got to give them the skills to do that. We need to do more in that area. So we'll be back after that. Thank you guys for joining me on this show. I really appreciate that. Kenda, make sure you like and subscribe. All my social medias, that's Chris Conscious. That's the Wiley Life. That's Speak Music Radio, and also Cypher on the Block. You can find me on all of those. You don't have to subscribe to all, but I would like if you do subscribe to all. I have a Patreon account. That's Wiley Life at Patreon, patreon.com/Wiley Life. Please go ahead and if you support my show. I also have a store. You can get t-shirts, you can get mugs, like you can get my Feel Me, woo, or you can get my We Out Here in the Streets shirt. And I have a lot of other hoodies and stuff coming. I got my Get Big Elite stuff. If you guys are into fitness and workout, very nice things that you guys can support the show by purchasing. Excuse me, that was a nasty burp. So, hey, I appreciate you guys. And until next time, we out here in these streets.